If you're looking to relocate to the Chicago suburbs and you want more house without paying the trendy suburb prices, then this is an underrated town you need to look at. I lived here for over 20 years, from a little kid well into my 20s, and these days I get to help families relocate all across the Chicago suburbs. So in this video, I'll show you how people actually end up choosing Addison, what your budget gets you, and where you should be focusing your search so you can skip weeks of guessing on Zillow. So let's set the stage on what types of homes you'll really see here most often. Addison is not a new construction suburb. Most homes here were built between the 1960s and the 1980s. So you're often buying solid structure, tried and true layouts. The most common homes you'll see here are ranches, split levels, and raised ranches. Now, two-story homes do exist, but they're less common and they tend to be in specific pockets. Now, if you're looking for a two-story, I'll make sure to show you exactly where those are later on. Bottom line, no matter what style you're looking for, Addison offers a lot of options at a price point that's still relatively affordable compared to all the nearby suburbs. I will tell you, this town gives you two things extremely well: location and consistency. This is a town where businesses last for many years. Neighborhoods always seem to feel familiar, and the overall town, it hasn't reimagined itself. It stayed tried and true. By the way, if you're thinking of relocating to Chicago or the suburbs, this is what I do every single day. Feel free to give me a call or sign up for my weekly newsletter right here. Now we're going to dive into budgets, what types of homes you get at each price point, and which neighborhoods you should actually be focusing on. In the sub $300,000 range in Addison, you're primarily looking at condos, townhomes, and the occasional smaller ranch. And here's the part that surprises a lot of people. You can still find condos here for under $150,000. Most of the condos and townhomes in this range center around Mill Meadows and Briar Hill, which sit right in the center of town, which gives you easy access to everything, whether you head east or west. Now, if convenience is your top priority, you'll also want to look at Kings Point condominiums. It's right here on the west side of the town, near 355. This area is literally right next door to shopping. So if you want the shortest trips possible, this place is hard to beat. Now, if you're buying a condo or a townhome, always expect smaller square footages and HOA fees. But those typically cover exterior maintenance, roofs, landscaping, and snow removal. Sometimes a little more. This range works really well if you want low maintenance living, a solid location, and you don't need a ton of space right away. Now, you can find a ranch under $300,000 in Addison, but I'll be completely honest with you, most of them are going to need some cosmetic updates. That said, if you're comfortable with some paint, flooring, a little bit of demo work, this is probably the best price range to add some value without overextending your budget. Now, in the Chicago suburbs, this next price range is one of the most competitive price points, and this is where Addison truly stands out. That is going to be a $300,000 to $400,000 range. This budget gives you access to multiple home styles, established neighborhoods, and a central location, which is why Addison is often one of the best bang for buck towns in this price range. If you're looking for a ranch, which is what I personally grew up in, you'll want to focus probably on Cherokee Park. It's got classic ranch homes, there's a pond close by, there's tennis courts, and a park that I visited so often. If you head just west, you'll land in Highview Park, which offers a great mix of split levels, ranches, and raised ranches. I spent a ton of time in this neighborhood. Both neighborhoods are going to feel kind of the same. Now, as you move north, you'll hit Old Mill Estates. It's just off Lake Street and Mill Road. It puts you at the center between 355 and 290, and it hosts landmarks like Millie's Pancake House. Now, if you know anybody that's lived in Addison or you've been to Addison, you know Millie's. It's a staple. If you head furthest west in the Golden Gate Estates, location becomes the biggest advantage to this subdivision. It's right off 53, quick access to 355, and it's close to all the shopping and entertaining on the west side. This is a great option if commute time is one of your biggest decision factors. All right, now let's step this up just a notch. And at this price point of $400,000 to $500,000, most buyers relocating to Addison are going to land on the west side of town, right near 53 and 355. That location matters because this is where Addison has some of the most popular move-up subdivisions, and they're all concentrated right around here. One of the biggest advantages of living in these pockets is convenience. Your minutes from everyday essentials like Walmart, Sam's Club, Aldi, plus it has Addison's Park District, the fitness club, and Centennial Park for if you like baseball and running around. without having to go across town. Now, from a housing standpoint, this is where Addison starts to truly open up. You'll see larger split-level homes, often with hardwood floors, older character, bigger layouts, including full basements, sometimes sub-basements, which buyers don't always expect until they see them in person. Sub-basements are kind of like a little bonus. Now, in this price range, most buyers should be focusing on Kings Point and Golden Gate Estates. You'll also see a few surrounding pockets like Westwood that fit into this move-up category, but not as often. And then there's the next step up. The neighborhoods I grew up thinking, this is where the big houses are in Addison. But right before we hop into that, if you're finding yourself having questions about the Chicago market, give me a call or sign up for my weekly emails right here, where I keep you updated on the market, local shops, places to check out when you're here, and so much more. Now, growing up, I didn't think about these next neighborhoods by price. You weren't on Redfin, you really didn't even have a phone at this age. These were just what I called the rich people neighborhoods as a kid. If you had a friend who lived here, you know they made it. Now, as an adult, this is your $500,000 plus price range right here in Addison. Not far from the move-up areas we just talked about, with the same highway access, the close proximity to shopping. The two subdivisions feel a little more upscale. That's going to be Foxdale and Farmwood Estates. They have more two-story homes than the other subdivisions do, larger square footage layouts, and sometimes a little bigger lots, bigger backyards. Now, there's one more area worth mentioning, and honestly, growing up, it never felt like Addison because it sits so close to Wooddale, and it's separated by a highway and a ton of trees. You don't even know it's there. Now, if I didn't tell you this area was Addison, you wouldn't believe me, trust me. These houses range from 3,000 to 5,000 square feet, but the prices often range from $600,000 to $800,000. You're farther from main shopping and movie theaters, but you're minutes from 83 and 290, which is huge if you're a commuter or you work hybrid. Now, instead of memorizing all these subdivision names, here's how relocation buyers should actually decide where to focus. If you're saying, I want the lowest buy-in, then look at Mill Meadows, Briar Hill, Kings Point condos. It's got the lower upfront cost, flexible resale, and it's good if the move is temporary and you're just trying to figure out the town. If you're saying, I want entry-level classic suburban living, this is the settled-in version of the town that I grew up in and loved every minute of, then look at Cherokee Park, Highview Park, and Lake Manor. Now, if you're thinking, I want a little more space without leaving Addison, then you should be looking at Kings Point, Golden Gate Estates, because they offer larger homes, less turnover typically, and it feels just like a little bit of a move up. Some say, I want the best Addison has to offer. Well, you need to look at Farmwood Estates, Foxdale, or White Oak Estates, which offer larger homes, bigger lots, more two-story layouts, and they're right next to major highways. These subdivisions, pretty awesome. Now, here are a few things you should know when you're looking at homes in Addison, and a lot of times in the Chicago suburbs too. A lot of homes here have basements, finished lower levels, or even sub-basements. And that square footage doesn't always show up clearly online. Redfin, Zillow, Realtor.com. So if you ever walk into a house and you feel like, this home is bigger than I saw online, then there's a good chance it actually is. Addison's central location makes commuting straightforward. Just Google map your time to a highway or your job location and you'll see it's very easy to get on the highway and get to work. And after living here for over 20 years, from the time I was my daughter's age, I can tell you this town still feels the exact same. And if you're looking for a place that's going to stand the test of time and feel just as familiar years down the road as the day you moved in, then Addison does this extremely well. And if you want to pick my brain about Addison or any other Chicago suburb, feel free to reach out. I'm happy to answer questions you still might have. But if you want to avoid moving to the wrong suburb altogether, watch this next video where I break that down for you. And I'll see you in the next one.